Alright guys, today we got a Toyota Camry here. This is a 4-cylinder VVTi engine, and we're going to replace the spark plug. Okay, these are the spark plugs right here, the part number. This is Denso. There's all the information you need. Okay, if you need to get these pieces, you can get it yourself, and they run about like 56 bucks. Okay, but anyways, what we're going to do is to replace the spark plugs, we're going to open this cover up. So just yank on this cover and it should pop open. Alright, it's a little jammed up. I don't want to break it, so it does have a grommet here and probably two in the back. So you just yank on it. Over time, look, it broke. That's how it's going to break because these are jammed up over time. We'll glue that up. Same thing in the back. Okay. You see how the back ones came out smooth? That's how it's supposed to be. But rubber from the heat, it locks up. This piece always breaks. But new ones, what I want to suggest is you lubricate both of these. If you get this one out, lubricate it. Alright. But this one I couldn't get out. It don't want to come out. It's really hard and stiff, but we'll put a type of glue there and it's gonna hold this off. Anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove number 10 here, number 10 here, number 10 here, and number 10 here. These 4 ignition coils are gonna come off. Alright, so you're gonna need a number 10 socket. If you have a ratchet, you could use a ratchet, but I use this drill here. So loosen up this one, that one, and that one. And don't worry, I'm going to give you torque specs at the end of the video. So if you do want to torque these, you can torque these bolts down. So 4 bolts come out. Make sure you put them to the side. You don't want nothing dropping inside the block. Okay, after that, you pull up this ignition coil. You push this connector, and the connector comes off. Sometimes even these break. If you break them, it's okay. I'm going to show you a little solution. Because from the heat, they're going to get hard, okay? So try to keep the ignition coils in order. If you have oil here, that means your valve cover gasket is leaking, okay? So then you do need to replace the valve cover gasket. This one comes out, push on the connector, and that comes out. Keep it in order. Even if you mess up the order, it's all right. They're all the same thing. Oops, the rubber boot fell out. I'm gonna get that. And there's the last coil. So no oil in any of these coils. Okay, once you have all the ignition coils out, you're gonna need a spark plug socket, such as this. Okay, so we got this socket. This is specially made for spark plugs. This is 5x8 the socket and a 3/8 of a ratchet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up all 4 plugs. Okay, so all 4 are loose, and once they're loose, you just turn it by hand and give a good amount of turns until you feel the plug is completely loose. Same thing with this one. These plugs has about, how many miles do you have in your car?
148, 49,000.
All right, so this car got a good amount of mileages on it. I think this is the first time we're changing these. It's my friend's car, so he maintains his car, so you should do too. So when you should do this spark plugs is about every 60,000 miles. And you can do it yourself. This is very simple. And I'm going to give you torque specs on the plugs. If you decide you want to torque it, you can torque it. Okay, so all 4 plugs are loose. I'm going to go get a magnet, and we're going to continue this video and pull out all 4 plugs. Okay, so I got the magnet here. Make sure your magnet does not have dirt and debris, because if you drop something that's stuck here inside, you're gonna have big trouble. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna reach out the plugs. You see they're like they corroded right in the back, not corroded, but you can see and the plugs are all, the tip is gone, electrode is gone. Let's pull out this another one. See, these are original Denso plugs in there, and we're gonna put the Densos in. Denso. And no oil on any of the plugs. If you have oil on the tip here, that's also a sign you have a leak in the valve cover gasket. Okay, so here's the plugs that I have. This is one of them. I'm going to show you in the box. The part number is 3417, SK number 16HR11. Okay, so inside this, if you buy these original Denso plugs, like we took off out of Denso, and this is also a Denso right there, you want to compare the length of this, because if you have a shorter plug and the length is longer in the new one, you're going to damage the engine, okay? You always want to look at the tip, okay? This one had a plastic piece. Let me go grab it. So if you ever have one of these plastic pieces, the function of this is, if I drop this, the tip is not going to close, okay? So these are pre-gapped, and then they put this on, and you cannot damage that spark plugs. So these are pre-gapped. If you don't need to gap them, just make sure it's the correct plug, the length is correct, and you're good. After that, you're gonna take your plug, you're not gonna throw it in there. You're gonna take this slowly, put your finger, and let it drop in there softly. Do the same thing for the next one. Always check your tips on each plug, because if the tip is closed, you're gonna have a misfire. Here's another one, last one. Bada bing, bada boom. After that, you're gonna take your socket and extension. You always wanna grab the threads by hand, okay? Get it as much as you can, all the way, so you cannot turn no more, just like that. Same thing with the next one. Same thing with the next one. There you go. And then we have the last one over here. Okay, now if you want to torque this, you're looking at 18 foot-pound, but if you want to tighten it by hand, just be good. If you have mechanic hands, all right, so hand tighten these or torque it to 18 foot-pound. Sometimes your socket will stay behind. You're gonna just wiggle it out of there. Okay, so this is nice and tight. I'm gonna tighten the next one. And I want you to follow the steps for all 4 spark plugs. And after that, we're gonna continue. Okay, so we're gonna take our ignition coil. Remember, I dropped this little guy. I had another one, I couldn't find it, I couldn't fish it, but it's okay. So if you're gonna take this, make sure you connect every single coil and you hear a click. If your connector broke, I'm gonna show you a little solution. Just like this one broke. If these break, make sure you put something on it, because if you don't, this is eventually gonna come off and you're gonna have a misfire. There's another one. There you go, click. You won't hear a click if it breaks. So here's another one. There you go. And here's the last one. Click, okay? Like I said, if these get hard and they break from the heat, you're not gonna hear a click. Make sure you hear a click or you put some type of sealer on it. All right, after that, we're gonna take our 4 bolts and you can tighten these to 7 foot-pound. No more than that, or you can do it by hand. All right, now we're gonna tighten it. Okay, we're gonna use this little drill here, but you can do it by hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bada bing, bada boom. After that, put your cover on. These little guys, you see how they was tough to take out? This one broke. Put some WD-40 on these. They'll lube up for future. If they get hard down the road, they will come off easy. There you go. That's it.